Bima yang ke-17. Selamat wisuda, berjaya terus, maju terus STKIP Taman Siswa Bima Go International Kalembo Ade.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day. My name is Associate Professor Dr. Mazlina Cik Mustafa from National Child Development Research Centre, Universiti Pendidikan Sultan Idris. Happy graduation to STKIP Taman Siswa Bima yang ke-17. Selamat wisuda, berjaya terus, maju terus STKIP Taman Siswa Bima Go International Kalembo Ade.
akan menjadi pengacara majlis anda sepanjang hari ini.
STKIP Taman Siswa Bima Go International.
I'm so proud to be here. I got a lot of knowledge here. I got new things, and I didn't expect that this campus has education program, and I can't wait to see the new things more and more. Thank you.
I'm the delegates of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima, which is located in Kabupaten Bima. We are so proud to be here. We got a lot of things, include our knowledge and also the way how to understand.
Dan ini memang sunnah dalam kemajuan masyarakat. Saya khawatir yang banyak berlaku bagi generasi-generasi yang pada peringkat awalnya gairah tentang
okey, untuk membuka selera dan juga untuk manisan untuk pencuci mulut lah. Okey. Dan dessert. Yang ini untuk main knife ataupun table knife. Knife fork. Okey. So ini fork dan satu lagi, okey, dia ada beza yang ni, sama je. Dia punya besar dia sama, cuma beza dia ada lekuk kat sini kan. So this one
I took this extract based on my transcriptions. I copy it directly. Let's see here why I try to give some characteristic on those kind of statements, because that's the plural language. Now this is the right moment. I tell you a part of Bima language. Say, bro is an English, right? Because plural, they use English because this is EFL classroom. See, Poda is actually a kind of stressing intonations of Bima to indicate that something they tell or they are talking about a true. Okay, next, keeper. Somehow, keeper is, this is the right written or not?
No.
No, yeah? That is why semantic and pragmatics different. Even if you write down wrong, but people understand keeper do you mean is the one who is staying there when you are playing football. That's what we call mutual understanding in speaking. You understand what I mean? I do understand what you mean. We are having mutual understanding. I know you, you know me. Okay, let's go. That is actually a kind of thing that I do to make sure the analysis. After having this kind of transcript, I try to give some analysis. This is the last slides. Thank you. I found
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa ashabihi ajmain. First of all, let us pray, give thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who always give this blessing on this day, so we can come together in this space. Before our presentation, I would like to introduce my team. And the first, I'm Neneng Harinisa from Primary Teacher Education. I'm 6th semester. And my woman and Fitri Marwadiyanti from Educational Technology Informatic 6th semester. And the man Ahmad Rohadi from Education
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Saya Profesor Dr. H. Anwar Usman SHMH, Ketua Mahkamah Konstitusi RI. Amanat konstitusi untuk mencerdaskan kehidupan bangsa sangat bergantung kepada literasi yang diberikan oleh kalangan perguruan tinggi. Oleh karena itu, peran perguruan tinggi menjadi kunci bagi terwujudnya amanah konstitusi dimaksud. Menjadi suatu kebanggaan bagi saya khususnya mendengar informasi bahwa terdapat sebuah perguruan tinggi di Bima yang telah menjadi kampus rujukan pembelajaran literasi, yaitu STKIP Taman Siswa. Semoga prestasi STKIP Taman Siswa yang telah menjadi rujukan pembelajaran literasi dapat dipertahankan serta ditingkatkan di masa yang akan datang. Terima kasih. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Selamat datang di STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. Apa aja sih fasilitas yang ada di kampus ini? Ayo kita lihat. Di samping saya ini adalah ruangan berandang dan di dalam
dosen mahasiswa terbaik untuk belajar karena sudah terbuka kerjasama atau kolaborasi dengan puluhan kampus di wilayah ASEAN dan akan tahun ini dan seterusnya akan mengembangkan membuka peluang kolaborasi di kampus-kampus di Eropa, bahkan juga di belahan dunia lainnya juga di Asia. Nah, tentunya di usia Golden Age ini kita harus terus bekerja keras. Kita harus terus berharap dan bekerja seperti tagline yang baru saja kita sebarkan, baru saja kita sampaikan pesan kepada masyarakat, terus berbagi, tulus mengabdi, raih ridho ilahi.
Nah, sekarang kita sudah di perpustakaan. Yuk kita lihat-lihat.
Tiga, dua, satu. Tiga, dua, satu.
AIT Extension is a center for executive education and professional development at the Asian Institute of Technologies, AIT. AIT Extension's strategic intention is being a client-focused global center of excellence in professional, continuing education, and capacity developments to enhance sustainable and transformative skills through work-based and blended learning. AIT Extension's learning ecosystem provides a modern platform of lifelong learning for everybody, practical knowledge transfer solutions, and the interface of people and workplace interaction. We give the most importance to experiential learnings that lead to new knowledge for innovations, for social and business impacts. AIT Extension's knowledge products and continuing education programs are developed by our in-house experts, industrial practitioners, and business leaders. AIT Extension assists public organizations and private enterprises to diagnose competency development needs and design skill-based learning programs. We work closely with knowledge partners around the globe to provide curated learning sites and up-to-date subject matters. Our learning evaluations is outcome-based, using advanced tools and methods to analyze existing practical knowledge and skills. We work in a wide range of advisories and consultancy services for client organizations in the area of institutional strengthening, human resource capacity building, on-the-job training, online learning, and organizational research. AIT Extension provides credentialed continuing education certificates in the forms of training course, work attachments and internships, modularized learning programs, and in-house knowledge service in the area of agriculture and food security, banking, finance, insurance, development management, education and learning development, energy technologies and management, engineering and frontier technologies, environments, climate change, waters and sanitation, public administrations and public policy, social entrepreneurs and ESG. For more information about AIT Extensions, you can visit our website at worldwideweb.extensions.ait.ac.th, or you can send an email to extensions@ait.ac.th. We look forward to welcoming you.
Senantiasa kita panjatkan kehadirat Sang Ilahi, Tuhan yang Maha Esa, atas berkat rahmat dan karunia-Nya darinya di pagi hari yang begitu cerah dan insya Allah penuh dengan barokah ini, kita semua dapat bersua muka guna menghadiri rangkaian acara Gebiar Inovasi Kreasi Mahasiswa STKIP Taman Siswa Bima tahun 2024. Baik, bismillahirrahmanirrahim, inilah peresmian gedung terhadap STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. Luar biasa. Tamsis
saya akan menceritakan dongeng yang berjudul Ibumu sakit apa, Bobby?
luar biasa.
Here in AIT, the environment is truly international and multicultural, as people who work, study, and live here come from more than 30 countries across Asia and other continents. That's why I have plenty of chances to make new friends and learn about the cultures. The learning experience here in AIT helps students to achieve their full academic potential. The classes here have become a stage for students from different cultural and knowledge backgrounds to discuss issues that matter globally.
Being here, I was inspired by the Institute's goal of creating innovative solutions. My research focuses on novel green tree
panjangnya 115 ya 105
Jogja digoyang gempa, masa sih? Sri Wahyu, Sri Wah, Sri Wahyuli, Sembojo Bima NTP hadir. Harap saya nih tak? Bahwa
who can think globally and act locally. Our School of Environment, Resource and Development takes an interdisciplinary approach to study, analyze, and solve global and regional sustainable development challenges, such as social and gender inequalities, rights and sustainability, urbanization and migration, food security, energy and environment, natural resources, and climate change.
The best management schools in the world are based on a strong industry involvement with leaders coming from around the world. It's also a place where a culture of innovation is encouraged. At our School of Management, that is the culture we're trying to encourage, with regular interaction with organisations and business schools, where teaching staff and faculty come from around the world. No idea is discarded, and a multidisciplinary approach where collaboration with other schools is supported.
The Entrepreneurship Center is supporting AIT students, its faculty and alumni to transform their ideas into tangible outcomes such as prototypes, business plans and startup companies. We aim to bring our experienced AIT alumni and successful entrepreneurs back to the campus to share their experience and stories and to work with our students and faculty to build their dreams here at AIT.
It's not only the knowledge and subject in the classroom, but the
AIT Extension is a center for executive education and professional development at the Asian Institute of Technologies, AIT. AIT Extension's strategic intention is being a client-focused global center of excellence in professional continuing education and capacity developments to enhance sustainable and transformative skills through work-based and blended learning. AIT Extension's learning ecosystem provides a modern platform of lifelong learning for everybody, practical knowledge transfer solutions, and the interface of people and workplace interaction. We give the most importance to experiential learnings that lead to new knowledge for innovations, for social and business impacts. AIT Extension's knowledge products and continuing education programs are developed by our in-house experts, industrial practitioners, and business leaders. AIT Extension assists public organizations and private enterprises to diagnose competency development needs and design skill-based learning programs. We work closely with knowledge partners around the globe to provide curated learning sites and up-to-date subject matters. Our learning evaluations is outcome-based, using advanced tools and methods to analyze existing practical knowledge and skills. We work in a wide range of advisories and consultancy services for client organizations in the area of institutional strengthening, human resource capacity building, on-the-job training, online learning, and organizational research. AIT Extension provides credentialed continuing education certificates in the forms of training course, work attachments and internships, modularized learning programs, and in-house knowledge service in the area of agriculture and food security, banking, finance, insurance, development management, education and learning development, energy technologies and management, engineering and frontier technologies, environments, climate change, waters and sanitation, public administrations and public policy, social entrepreneurs and ESG. For more information about AIT Extensions, you can visit our website at worldwideweb.extensions.ait.ac.th, or you can send an email to extensions@ait.ac.th. We look forward to welcoming you.
atas berkat rahmat dan karunia-Nya darinya di pagi hari yang begitu cerah, dan insya Allah penuh dengan barokah ini kita semua dapat inovasi, kreasi, mahasiswa 2024. Baik,
peresmian gedung berada STKIP Taman Siswa Bima luar biasa.
discuss issues that matter globally.
Being here, I was inspired by the Institute's goal of creating innovative solutions. My research focuses on novel green 3R biotechnology that recycles, reduces, and reuses our waste. I am certain that the research findings we are doing here at AIT can potentially be applicable globally to make people's lives and environment better and to achieve sustainable development goals.
We are working with many universities and governmental organizations in research collaboration and outreach activities. Some of our research findings have already been translated into new government regulations, new engineering standards and practice, and new engineering applications and tools. And I believe our long-term effort has created significant social and economic impact for communities in the region.
We believe that our main role is to produce experts who are truly global citizens who can think globally and act locally. Our School of Environment, Resource and Development takes an interdisciplinary approach to study, analyze and solve global and regional sustainable development challenges, such as social and gender inequalities, rights and sustainability, urbanization and migration, food security, energy and environment, natural resources, and climate change.
The best management schools in the world are based on a strong industry involvement with leaders coming from around the world. It's also a place where a culture of innovation is encouraged. At our School of Management, that is the culture we're trying to encourage, with regular interaction with organizations and business schools, where teaching staff and faculty come from around the world. No idea is discarded, and a multidisciplinary approach where collaboration with other schools is supported.
The Entrepreneurship Center is supporting AIT students, its faculty and alumni to transform their ideas into tangible outcomes such as prototypes, business plans and startup companies. We aim to bring our experienced AIT alumni and successful entrepreneurs back to the campus to share their experience and stories and to work with our students and faculty to build their dreams here at AIT.
It's not only the knowledge and subject in the classroom, but the way of thinking. Because when we come to work, it's not exactly as it happened in the books. So having AIT experience, so we look at this like a way of life, and I can find many solutions to overcome the obstacle, the problem, and also another thing is initiation. This is the very important thing for the success in the working life.
In my personal career, with the knowledge that I have gained from the Asian Institute of Technology, it has been very helpful in dealing with people, in managing my work life, in managing my family life, and also in actually furthering my knowledge through the research capacities that I have gained from the Asian Institute of Technology.
AIT Extension is a center for executive education and professional development at the Asian Institute of Technologies, AIT. AIT Extension's strategic intention is being a client-focused global center of excellence in professional continuing education and capacity developments to enhance sustainable and transformative skills through work-based and blended learning. AIT Extension's learning ecosystem provides a modern platform of lifelong learning for everybody, practical knowledge transfer solutions, and the interface of people and workplace interaction. We give the most importance to experiential learnings that lead to new knowledge for innovations, for social and business impacts. AIT Extension's knowledge products and continuing education programs are developed by our in-house experts, industrial practitioners, and business leaders. AIT Extension assists public organizations and private enterprises to diagnose competency development needs and design skill-based learning programs. We work closely with knowledge partners around the globe to provide curated learning sites and up-to-date subject matters. Our learning evaluations is outcome-based, using advanced tools and methods to analyze existing practical knowledge and skills. We work in a wide range of advisories and consultancy services for client organizations in the area of institutional strengthening, human resource capacity building, on-the-job training, online learning, and organizational research. AIT Extension provides credentialed continuing education certificates in the forms of training course, work attachments and internships, modularized learning programs, and in-house knowledge service in the area of agriculture and food security, banking, finance, insurance, development management, education and learning development, energy technologies and management, engineering and frontier technologies, environments, climate change, waters and sanitation, public administrations and public policy, social entrepreneurs and ESG. For more information about AIT Extensions, you can visit our website at worldwideweb.extensions.ait.ac.th, or you can send an email to extensions@ait.ac.th. We look forward to welcoming you.
Here in AIT, the environment is truly international and multicultural, as people who work, study, and live here come from more than 30 countries across Asia and other continents. That's why I have plenty of chances to make new friends and learn about the cultures. The learning experience here in AIT helps students to achieve their full academic potential. The classes here have become a stage for students from different cultural and knowledge backgrounds to discuss issues that matter globally.
Being here, I was inspired by the Institute's goal of creating innovative solutions. My research focuses on novel green 3R biotechnology that recycles, reduces, and reuses our waste. I am certain that the research findings we are doing here at AIT can potentially be applicable globally to make people's lives and environment better and to achieve sustainable development goals.
We are working with many universities and governmental organizations in research collaboration and outreach activities. Some of our research findings have already been translated into new government regulations, new engineering standards and practice, and new engineering applications and tools. And I believe our long-term effort has created significant social and economic impact for communities in the region.
We believe that our main role is to produce experts who are truly global citizens who can think globally and act locally. Our School of Environment, Resource and Development takes an interdisciplinary approach to study, analyze and solve global and regional sustainable development challenges, such as social and gender inequalities, rights and sustainability, urbanization and migration, food security, energy and environment, natural resources, and climate change.
The best management schools in the world are based on a strong industry involvement with leaders coming from around the world. It's also a place where a culture of innovation is encouraged. At our School of Management, that is the culture we're trying to encourage, with regular interaction with organisations and business schools, where teaching staff and faculty come from around the world. No idea is discarded, and a multidisciplinary approach where collaboration with other schools is supported.
The Entrepreneurship Center is supporting AIT students, its faculty and alumni to transform their ideas into tangible outcomes such as prototypes, business plans and startup companies. We aim to bring our experienced AIT alumni and successful entrepreneurs back to the campus to share their experience and stories and to work with our students and faculty to build their dreams here at AIT.
It's not only the knowledge and subject in the classroom, but the way of thinking. Because when we come to work, it's not exactly as it happened in the books. So having AIT experience, so we look at this like a way of life, and I can find many solutions to overcome the obstacle, the problem, and also another thing is initiation. This is the very important thing for the success in the working life.
In my personal career, with the knowledge that I have gained from the Asian Institute of Technology, it has been very helpful in dealing with people, in managing my work life, in managing my family life.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Assalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. First of all, let us praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for giving us healthy and mercy so we can attend the international webinar today in the Beradat Hall STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. Sama ini. Salawat and greetings may always be passed. Of Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand, the respectable Ms. Mariamah MPD as the head of the Research and Community Service of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima, and also, last but not least, Said Shaheen Hussein as the Senior Program Officer of AIT Extension of Asian Institute of Technology. We would like to also address our gratitude for having a very qualified speakers in our international webinar today. The first speaker that we would like to mention is Ms. Pawirin Chuan Prapun from the UNESCO Bangkok. Please give a round of applause to our invited speakers today. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to also mention our honorary invited guest of today, Dr. Umi Khairati Syam SPD MPD, as the head of National Associations of English Education Department of Indonesia. All the lecturers from all around Indonesia who have attended our international webinar today, not only today offline in the Belagat Hall, but also online, which you guys may actually have seen in the front of you on Zoom meeting. Also, lecturers, especially from STKIP Taman Siswa Bima and from the AIT Extension Thailand, and also our beloved student participants who have spent some time to arrive here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the international webinar, a collaboration between STKIP Taman Siswa Bima and AIT Extension of Asian Institute of Technology Thailand under the theme International Webinar on Literacy, Numeracy, and Inclusivity in Education in the context of Indonesia and Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, let's open our international webinar today by reciting Basmalah together. The next agenda is singing of Indonesian and Thailand national anthem. I please all the participants to stand up.
Di sana aku berdiri, jadi bangga
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the national anthem of both Indonesia and Thailand. We hope that by listening to the anthems, it grows the passions, the love of our community, and also the nationalism in us even more. The next agenda is opening speeches. The first opening speech will be delivered by Dr. Ibnu Khaldun Sudirman, MSI, as the head of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. To Dr. Ibnu Khaldun Sudirman, the time is yours.
Good afternoon, esteemed guys here in Zoom meeting, Mr. Prophet Onarsen, Executive Director AIT Extensions, then Ms. Naram Wangnai, Director of Program AIT Extensions. Then SK Sahin Hussein, Senior Program Officer, AIT Extensions. Then Ms. Kovin, Project Officer, UNESCO Thailand. And the last, President EPS PBE, Dr. Umi Hayati, MPD. Distinguished speakers and participants, it is a privilege to welcome to your international webinar on exploring the issues of literacy, numeracy, and inclusivity in education in the context of innovation in Thailand. We are delighted to have you join us to delve into these critical issues that affects educational practices and outcomes in good nations. Your presence here signifies a state commitment to addressing this challenge and advancing our understanding of how to foster more inclusive and effective educational environments. Today, we will explore the multifaceted dimensions of literacy and numeracy, focusing on their role in shaping educational experiences and outcomes in Indonesia and Thailand. Our discussion will be guided by insights from experts and practitioners who will share their research, case studies, and innovative approaches to overcoming barriers and enhancing educational quality. By examining these issues through comparative lenses, we aim to identify strategies that can be tailored to unique contexts, and each country will drive on successfully practice from good regions. This webinar is not only an opportunity to gain valuable knowledge, but also a platform for meaningful dialogues and collaborations. We encourage you to actively participate in discussions, ask questions, and share your perspective as we work together to develop solutions that promote literacy, numeracy, and inclusivity. Let us leverage this change to learn from each other and with stronger educational frameworks, then can benefit learners in Indonesia, Thailand, and beyond. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to a project and fruitful sessions. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much to Dr. Haji Mukhalid Sudirman, MSI, for a very insightful and welcoming speech. As he mentioned, that hopefully this international webinar can come up with innovative solutions to bear the challenges and also to decrease the gap in education so we can solve the problems together. Ladies and gentlemen, the next opening speech will be delivered by Mr. Forfait Chon Lasin as the Executive Director of AIT Extension, Asian Institute of Technology, Thailand. To Mr. Forfait Chon Lasin, the time is yours.
Good afternoon, the management of the universities in Indonesia's STKIP. Good afternoon, speakers, distinguished guests from the Indonesia side, and educators, professors, teachers, students, researchers who are presenting today on our first international webinar that organized by AIT Extension in collaboration with your universities. First of all, I would like to inform you that my team at AIT Extension and also your universities has initiated this as the first initiative in order to promote global educations. And one of the global educations and also inclusivities that we are looking at is also giving a good platform to the sustainable developments of the UN agencies and also the SDG that to accomplish in the next 6 years. I'm very honored to have these international organizations like UNESCO and colleagues from UNESCO to join here to also witness that in the ASEAN education communities, now we are also working together to achieve the SDG 4 and SDG 10, which is the SDG 4 is for quality of education, that's what we are trying to do. And the SDG 10 is to reduce inequalities. So what we are trying to do here and what we are gathering here is very important. It's also very important springboards to not only Indonesia's and Thailand's and AI and so forth, but also for other communities in ASEAN and Asia Pacific and also around the world to be able to recall and recognize that how we would move to the basic education fundamental to the groups that we have to address in the near future so that we can all together appreciate the global education and also sustainable developments in the domains of education and social inclusions. So AIT and our partners and our agreements of the relationship is really marking a very important avenue to other organizations and education institutions to learn from us. Especially, we would like to send a message to the world that numeracies, and also literacies, inclusivity of the educations, it can be also mean for how we also engage all stakeholders to get involved. And the stakeholder that we are needing them to get involved is not only at the education sector level, but also in level of sectors and also the communities to be able to be engaged in education promotions and also educating our new generations to have the skills of calculation and also skill in communications. The second is the curriculum. I think this is very important timelines and also important milestones that we all together on the Indonesia's and Thailand and AIT and the regions that can think about the curriculum.
how we are going to make adjustments on the appropriate curriculums in order to enhance the skills sets of the students to be able to achieve a basic fundamental and basic foundation of the skills that can be able to engage in the mainstreamings of the economy of the countries and the region. So it is very important that the education curriculum should go beyond, go beyond the conventional strategy of education and curriculum developments, but it also have to take surrounding environments and learning communities and businesses and economy into the curriculum. At the same time, the one who teach the curriculums, the one who do the research, the one who evaluates students should also embrace that they also have to consider how these educations can be also enhanced in terms of the inclusiveness and make people be able to be in the main economies of the countries and provinces and the region. The third, I would say that although we may not touch upon today, but in the future, when we have the next series of international webinar, we are going to look into how we are going to utilize the technologies into education and promotions of communication and promotions of the basic skill in mathematical calculation. None of us will reject that this skill is very important from the early childhoods until the tertiary education. It is very important. And we can recall when we were young, this skill has been so important until today. And we can't believe that the more we go older and the year pass by, this calculation skill and mathematics skill is going for simplest. It's very simple, where we can also apply to the lifestyle, we can apply to the day-to-day operation and also day-to-day life. Looking at today how we are talking about the data analytics. Data analytics is not something very rocket science. It's a simple math, it's a simple logics, but it can also mechanized by the AI that can make the numeracies fundamental be equipped by the AI and education technologies. The last but not the least important is the globalization of the skill that we are talking about. We are in the world of the boundaryless. We are in the world of the connectivities. As of today, we are now just connected, although we are very distant on land and also from the sky, but we are be able to connect and talk about numeracies and literacy and see how this global connection would be allowing us to be able to share the experience. And today we are going to listen to experience from Thailand and also Indonesia. And this experience now heard by so many people around the world so that they can also learn from us too. So these are the reasons that why we are having this series of international webinar, which we believe that we have to move on and continue with the support of UNESCO and other international organizations. This series of organizations already supported by UNITA, the UN Institute for Training and Research, and now by UNESCO. And we are going to expand more this type of series of the talk and education fundamental that promoting the SDGs, SDG number 4 and SDG number 10 and beyond. So friends, colleagues, and partners, we are doing the big things, not only for our countries, but we are transferring the knowledge and experience to people, and we are not trying to missing millions. We are trying to give the opportunity of the millions in order to be educated and have basic skill for education, literacy, and numeracy for them to be able to empower themselves into the country economies, regional economies, and the global economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Korafi Chonnasin, the Executive Director of AIT Extensions of Asian Institute of Technology. We strongly agree with what he has already mentioned, that the aim of this international webinar is really to learn from each other. We learn from the Thailand context, and hopefully Thailand can also learn from our context. Moving on to the next opening speech, I welcome Dr. Umi Khairati Sham, SPD MPD, the Director of English Study Program Associations of Indonesia. To Dr. Umi Khairati Sham, SPD MPD, the time is yours.
Excuse me, am I audible? Excuse me.
Yes, you are audible. We can hear you clearly here.
Well, I'm sorry, my connection is unstable here because I'm in a remote area. My time. Excuse me. Excuse me. Check sound. Am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you.
Check, check.
Yes, we can hear you and we can see your beautiful face from Umi.
Check sound. Am I audible? Thank you so much. Check. Check sound. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, Umi. We can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much. Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon everyone. So I would like to welcome our distinguished guests from Thailand. The first one, Mr. Vera Fatih Chamlesing, Executive Director of AIT Extension. And the second one, Ms. Naruman Wangnai, Director Program of AIT Extension. And this is Shaheen Hussein, Senior Program Officer of AIT Extension. And Mrs. Sowirin from Project Officer UNESCO Thailand. So thank you so much for your sharing your ideas and your experience in this webinar. So I'm very happy to be invited to this prestigious event, the international webinar collaboration between AIT and STKIP Taman Siswa Bima, and then Asosiasi Program Studi Pendidikan Bahasa Inggris, or English Language Study Program Association. As the president of APS-PBI, I really appreciate this event as one of working programs of APS-PBI in the region of Nusa Tenggara and Bali. And I would like to express my gratitude to the STKIP Taman Siswa Bima Authority. Thank you so much, Bapak Dr. Haji Kaudi Sudirman MSI, the head of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. And then Dr. Sharifuddin SSC MPD as the vice one of STKIP. And also Bapak Ramli MPD as the vice three of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. I really hope this webinar will be beneficial for all of us. And also, I would like to say thank you so much to the all participants who join and participate in this event. And also, we are looking forward to seeing you again in the upcoming event of APS PBI. I think that's all. Thank you so much for your kind attention. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, we send our deepest gratitude to Dr. Umi Khairati Syam, SPD, MPD, for delivering welcoming speech for our international webinar today. So ladies and gentlemen, dear our beloved participants, finally, now we come to the main sessions. I know that you've been waiting for this. Some of the students, in fact, they told me that they're very excited about the webinar, they're interested about the topics, so they would like to learn more about the implementations of literacy, numeracy, and also inclusivity in the context of education, especially in Indonesia and Thailand. So ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce and also to welcome our moderator of the day, Mr. Ramli and SPD MPD. Please give a round of applause for him. So before handing the microphone to Mr. Ramli, I would like to read just a little bit of his excellent profile, in fact. So Mr. Ramli, SPD MPD, is our third vice deputy or deputy chief of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. I'm so sorry. He completed his master's degree in State University of Makassar in English language teaching department. Some of his job experiences included as the language laboratory coordinator of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima in 2017, and also English tutor in many organizations, both online and offline in Indonesia. So I'll read also maybe just two of his achievements. The first is that he managed to be the best speaker of each MSCE University Pendidikan Indonesia or Indonesian Education University in 2023, and also the coordinator of Kampus Mengajar or University Teaching in 2021, 2022, and 2023. So 3 years. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our moderator today, Mr. Ramli, SPD, MPD. The time is yours.
Thank you, Ms. Nika. Dear ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, first of all, before I open and welcome to the speaker for today, I would like to give the excellences to the speaker and also the guest from AIT Extensions. First, I would like to welcome Mr. Forafay Tonlasin as the Executive Directors of AIT Extensions. And the second, I'd like to welcome the distinguished Ms. Narumon Wangnar as the Director Program of AIT Extensions. The third one, our lovely brother, Mr. Shahir Hussein, the one and only that we share all the things, the requirements, and also some steps that we do as the mechanism of these activities. As the Senior Program Officer of AIT Extensions, Mr. Shahir, are you there? Okay, next, I'd like to also welcome Ms. Sowirin as the Project Officer of UNESCO in Thailand. Welcome, Ms. And my lovely President of APSPBI, Dr. Umi Khairati Syam, SPD MPD. Thank you for the time and also the chance to be with us in our webinar today. And don't forget, I'd like to welcome every participant here, the lovely head of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima, Mr. Dr. Haji Ibnu Khaldun Sudirman MSI, and also all the staffs and lecturers around STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, I don't want to talk more about what the things actually that we're going to talk about today. This is actually a nice and interesting topic since education is so thing happening and being discussed by the Ministry of Education in Indonesia. Well, we're going to talk about exploring the issues. What's actually happening around education both in Thailand and also in Indonesia, where we are going to concern the discussions cover 3 points. The first one is literacy, second is numeracy, and the sexist thing is talking about the inclusivity of education in both contexts, Indonesia and Thailand. Well, without further ado, I would like to introduce and deliver about the short CV of the speakers today. The first chance I'm going to give to Miss Sowirin Chuan Prakun. Sorry for misspelling, Miss. how do I don't know how to spell and also what's actually the calling name of you anyway. But first of all, Miss Sowirin is a project officer of the Inclusive and Equitable Learning Team, Education Sections, UNESCO Regional Office in Bangkok, Thailand. With UNESCO Bangkok, Thailand, she was in 2011 until now, and she has been promoting access to education for out of schools, managerialized children and youth, as well as adult learners, is in Asia Pacific for 10 years. And we saw that it also has been implementing various initiatives to provide learning opportunity through flexible learning programs, educational innovations, and educational emergencies for vulnerable groups, including migrant, ethnic minority, and stateless children along the Thai-Myanmar border areas. And also Ms. Sowirin holds master degree in international and comparative law from University of Toulouse. I don't know how to say it. In France, she has been a special lecturer at Konkan University and Naresuan University International College in Thailand. Hopefully it finds you, Ms. Sowirin. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to give a round of applause to the speaker, to Ms. Sowirin Yudhisthira.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind introduction. I hope you can hear me well from your end.
Sure.
Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay, then let me share the screen for my presentation.
Udah di allow share screen nggak?
If you're okay, your material is actually with us already, so we have a technical assistance, so it's okay. We would like to share the slides of yours.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, miss.
Yes.
Okay, I hope it's okay. Yes, so for today, as we are setting the scene to talk about an overview of the education, inclusive education, and also touching upon the dimensions of literacy and numeracy. And I also think that it's also very important to talk about the keyword, the big keyword here, the lifelong learning, which is also now the basic fundamental right for everyone to be able to access to the learning opportunities for lifelong. So with this regard, for today's presentation, I prepare several statistics for you to be able to be informed about the educational progress and also the developments in terms of inclusion. I hope that the information that I'll be presenting today will be helpful for your work and also maybe setting the scene to kick off the discussion between Thailand and also Indonesia. So I think that maybe we will have some few minutes for the Q&A at the end. So please feel free to let me know if you have any questions after this. Yes, as everyone know, we are now promoting the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. As our honorable speakers mentioned at the beginning, we are moving forward with the SDG 4, and actually UNESCO is the lead UN agency that we are trying to push all the countries around the world to be able to keep up with the progress for SDG 4. But however, as you all know, our milestone is at the year of 2030, and we only have now 6 years left before we can reach the goal. So we must accelerate our efforts to ensure that education and lifelong learning opportunities can be possible for everyone. And also, I think we also mentioned about SDG 10, about reducing the inequalities. And I also would like to add it here, SDG 11, because as you know, the cities are the key actors to promote lifelong learning opportunities for all as well. So we are going to talk a little bit about how education and sustainable cities and communities can be all related. So in my first part of the presentation, I like to talk about an overview of education situation. On this slide, you can see like lots of figures here. This is something that I would like to flag that the current statistics from UNESCO shows that there is actually a crisis in education. Because you can see during our digital transformation or after COVID, we have so much technologies and advancements for globalization, but we still have 250 million children and youth who are still out of school. And this actually represents a 6 million rise since 2021. And the factors, big factors, are actually the exclusion of girls and also the education crisis in Afghanistan. That's why we have a spike number of out-of-school children after the COVID times. When we look at the gender disparities, we can see that girls actually face more barriers to accessing education, and they are more likely to be excluded from primary schools compared to boys. I think this is something that it should be mentioned, especially also in the context of Indonesia and in some parts of Thailand. For example, in the southern parts of Thailand, we also have a lot of issues with girls accessing to education as well. However, on the other hand, if we look at the boys, so they are also facing challenges as well, because the boys are actually at higher risk of repeating grades, and they are struggling with learning outcomes, although they are in school. So this is something that we need to also keep the balance between the girls and the boys. And another statistic that I like to mention is that when we talk about literacy, numeracy, and also basic skills for children to retain in the education system, we found that still like 50% of children worldwide, they do not have the acquired basic skills levels, especially those one in sub-Saharan Africa. If you look at the chart here, you can see that there is a high percentage of 94% of the children in African countries, they do not have basic levels of skills that needed, including literacy and numeracy. So this is something that we like to flag for the global situation. Moving on to the global economic impact. This aspect is very important, right? Because if we talk to the Ministry of Education, maybe we focus more on how we can accelerate the progress of the enrollments, but then the governments, they do need a lot of budget in order to keep all children in school. So that's why UNESCO is pushing more and more in terms of the impacts on the economics globally. So if the global trends are still persist like this, if we still have millions of our school children worldwide, then the global economic impact of school dropouts and basic skill deficits could actually reach to 10 trillion US dollars annually. And this number is very large. This amount is actually more than the GDP of France and Japan combined. So you can see if children are not going to school, this will be a crisis in terms of economy for the countries as well. And from the figures, the global figures that we have now, we noticed that African countries also still be the ones who are affected the most, and they will have the highest cost. So the next slide here, it will show you that not only the economic impacts that countries are facing from out-of-school children and youth situation, but Actually, this has another dimensions of the impacts that we should be mentioning about. This is also about non-monetary costs that can happen in the countries. So I drew out the statistics of youth and young adults who are not in employment, education, or training. Or this group we call NEET and EET, and we have to pay attention to them more and more these days because globally we still have 20% of these young population who are not in any kind of training or employment or any forms of education. And from the statistics, we can see that the youth need, the number will keep going up if the children, like from the early levels, they do not acquire basic skills. So in the future, they will become NEET. They will become young adults who are not in any employments or trainings. And same as the previous slides, African countries are still the most impacted region, with the expected 30% of increase in need youth if this situation persists. And when we look at this group, if the young adults, they are not in any form of learning, then there will be some effects. For example, if they are girls, then there will be like a 69% of increase in their early pregnancies. And this is something that we could continue to look at. For example, like the country like Pakistan, if they have a lot of need youth, then the GDP of the country will be affected by 25%. And that's a lot, right? And if they still have lots of girls out of school, then we foreseen that there will be an increasement of the homicide rates by 30%, early pregnancies by 34%, or even sexual violence or domestic violence will increase like 15%. So this is something that I would like to mention that maybe both Thailand and Indonesia can also look at this aspect. What is the cost of our school children in our countries? And what will be the implications if the situation persists? Then I'd like to move on to the older populations like adults. Although we have been like trying our best, like all countries trying to get the literacy rate to achieve the universal literacy rate. But then we still have like this 700 million adults who do not know how to read and write. And this number is still stable because if we look at the global adult literacy rate, it's only improved by just 1%. By just only 1%. So the progress is very slow, right? So if you look at the statistics in the on your right, you will see that, for example, like in the African countries, the progress have been moving very slow. The graph just very like tiny, a little bit increase, right? So we still have 9 million. Actually, numbers climbing up. And although children and youth can go to school, they receive some education, but then globally, we still have 58% of youth who complete secondary education or high school. So what about half of them? They don't complete high school, right? So that's why they can turn into relapse in literacy, or they can be unemployed, or other problems like the problem of NEET, which I mentioned earlier, can be happening as well. And unfortunately, this is unfortunate, right? Because after COVID, we found that adults who participate in non-formal education or flexible learning, they have dropped by 10%. So this is something that we have to look at, not only just the children and youth, but also adults also require a lot of attention in terms of literacy and lifelong learning. Since I'm from Thailand, so I'm pulling out the statistics from Thailand here. This is the research that our partner EEF, the Equitable Education Fund, they work with the World Bank to assess foundational skills of adults in Thailand. And the numbers actually very shocking because 64% of adults in Thailand cannot read or understand short text. This is very shocking, right? Because we test them on how they can read, for example, like a very simple medical prescriptions or some text for their daily life. But still, like adults, the population, especially those who are 40s and above, and those who live in the rural areas, in the mountainous areas, they still are struggling with managing this foundational literacy. And when we talk about these days education, we talk about digital transformation. So adults in Thailand, 74% of them cannot perform tasks with digital devices. As you can see in the graphs here, we talk about literacy, digital literacy or skills, which are now very fundamental. We talk about social emotional skills, and this has become very important. Like after COVID, people need to be more creative. They need to be able to manage their emotions and also try to integrate into the society, live together peacefully, right, in the multicultural context. But then this kind of skills still very low, only 30%. And this is happening. So that's why in my second part of the presentation, I would like to suggest some ideas that UNESCO and partners are doing, and also some other countries are doing for our consideration. During the year of 2022, we have this global conference. It's called the International Conference for Adult Learning and Education. And most countries around the world, like more than 190 countries, they agree that these 5 aspects are the most important aspects for young adults and then youth and populations for the countries in the future. They have to really accelerate. First one is the right to lifelong learning. And this is not just about literacy, not just about basic literacy, but the right to education is now extended beyond basic literacy, basic education, but it now covers lifelong learning opportunities. Because most of the time, education stopped at the school level. Like after you finish the schools, the government will no longer invest for your education, right? But right now, it's not the case. We have, as I mentioned before, we have a lot of situation while adults cannot learn and they do not have enough skills. So the right to education has to be extended to lifelong learning. And today's conference, we talk a lot about inclusion. So UNESCO has been advocating inclusivity for all target groups, especially on this slide. We know that in this 21st century, we need digital inclusion because all peoples across all ages, they would need digital skills. Whether they are migrants, stateless, they are people with disabilities, or they are those who are affected by disasters or whatever, they would also need digital skills and competencies. And as we now in this multicultural context, we also have to promote citizenship, global citizenship is something that we need to look at, and this can be part of our lifelong learning journey. Last but not least, we talk about the future of work, the skills that we need in the era that we have a lot of technologies, the AI can replace our jobs. So we need to really support the skills of people from all ages to be ready for the future of work. And lastly, important topic, it's about climate change. And UNESCO is pushing climate action as one of the key components for the agenda, the transforming education agenda that we are now in this era. We need to be able to know how to cope with the climate change, which impacts everyone's life nowadays. Yes. So what we are doing, I'm just giving some examples. This is one of examples that the cities and the local governments are trying to promote inclusivity in the city for people to be able to have access to learning. And UNESCO Learning Cities concept have been promoted across the world. And we found that the learning cities approach can be inspirational approach to promote the learning opportunities for all citizens. So with that, I just would like to flag this, that actually in our region, we have quite numbers of learning cities, UNESCO learning cities. If we look at the profile like globally, we have around 356 cities across 79 countries. But in our region, this is the list of the new members of the UNESCO learning cities in this region. We have 3 from Thailand, a lot from South Korea, and few from Vietnam. But for Indonesia, I think I would like to encourage, because there is only one UNESCO learning city right now, which is Surabaya. So we can look at there some good practices of the learning cities that they try to promote social inclusion and also access to education to their people. For example, in France, they really earmark the budget for education and learning for their people, and actually their citizens, the city's citizens can get to vote what kind of projects they would like to do. And I'm really glad that Surabaya joined the UNESCO Learning Cities in 2019. And the government, local government allocated 30% of the budget to education, and that's really excellent, right? We have some other examples in our region. For example, in Malaysia, the city of Petaling Jaya also provide transportation for people with disabilities or those who cannot access learning centers. This is the free bus that they provide for people to go and access all the learning centers across the cities. And that's really excellent. So this year we will have the International Conference on Learning Cities in the Jubail city, Saudi Arabia. And the key topic for this year, and I think very related to what we just discussed, it's about how can learning cities tackle the climate action. And I think this is affecting both Thailand and Indonesia. So if you are interested in this topic, you are invited to join the webinar. It's online webinar in English. We will be hosting the webinar by the UIL, the UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning, until December. So I kept the link here for those of you who would like to join the webinar. You can access the webinar free of charge. Yes, and with this, just to raise some important points that maybe for Thailand and Indonesia to consider. As we talk about literacy, now we have to think about how to becoming green communities. How can our children and youth becoming more equipped with all the green skills, right? So the first part is it can start from the schools, and UNESCO has this greening education concept. So I just like to talk quickly about this. But if you would like to know more, you can go to UNESCO website. You can search greening education, and all the teachers manuals and guidelines related to this, and even curriculum will be able to will be available for you to download for free. So if countries like to think about how to create like green schools, there are materials for you, some green curriculum, and also the green skills. This is something that teachers and school managers now they have to become more aware. Right. And if possible, UNESCO also have the target that all school leaders and at least one teacher per school, they have to get the training, like a proper training on how to tackle with climate education. Yes. And lastly, this is about the digital inclusion, which is also related to the literacy skills that we would need in this era. And UNESCO is leading the global platform. It's called Gateways. So this is a global initiative that run by UNESCO and UNICEF to help the countries to build and also maintain the learning platforms for their citizens. So I would like to end this presentation by the work that we have done for Thailand and Asia, and also Indonesia. Maybe you have aware or maybe not aware of the ASEAN Declaration on our school children and youth. This is the declaration that both Thailand and Indonesia endorsed together with all other ASEAN member states. And the heart of this declaration is to provide flexible learning, provide flexible pathways for all children and youth to be able to access education, especially in the form of non-formal education or flexible learning. And UNESCO have been implemented this with the POSCO 1% Foundation from Korea to help enroll our school children in Thailand, Indonesia, and also in Vietnam. So for Indonesia, we work with the communities in Jakarta, Karawang, and also Cilegon. And we found that for Indonesian context, vocational skills development is very important. So all these children who have dropped out, they need to have the vocational skills and try to go back to the school system. But for Thailand, there are many contexts, like the context of the migrants, those who live on the Thai-Myanmar border, they need to be able to access Thai schools or sometimes with the migrant learning centers for flexible education. And for Thailand, we have a special case. This is the model called Learning Coin. This is very interesting because we know that children, they drop out because they want to support their family to earn incomes. They want to go to work. They don't want to go to school, right? So we ask those our school children who are not willing to go to school that come and read the books from the application that we have, and then you will earn the scholarships based on your reading efforts. So the more they read, the more they can earn. And this has been piloted in Thailand, and we found that the motivation of children to stay in school, they have like increased engagements and also retention in their school. Because they can learn, and at the same time, they can also earn some scholarships to help support their parents. So I hope that the representation today can show you some situation and some promising models that maybe both countries can think about. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much, Wei, for the insightful presentation. Well, thank you for the insight.
Udah. Oke, Mike. Udah device-nya, udah ke-mute kok.
Sorry. Thank you for the insightful presentation today, Ms. Ogirin. We got a bright understanding on how is actually the practice of education in Thailand, especially in a broad-minded of UNESCO. As you mentioned before, that the SDGs should be concerned as the main part of actually the sectors of education, where we couldn't deny that the barriers between girls and boys, especially in accessing the education, is actually the main issues not only happen in Thailand, even in UNESCO big scope, even more in Indonesia, we see there are some cases happen around the barriers between boy and girl in accessing the educations. The case or the background could become in various reasons, as you already mentioned before. It could come from the family's problem, and also how is actually the accessibility of education is really hard to begin. And the second one, the thing that you already shares in UNESCO's practice as a best practice that we can learn from that is like how we create a kinds of educations and social with the social. By Thailand, not only Thailand, even in Indonesia, the barriers is there. So having a kind of atmosphere or the circumstance of a good education, how they can assess the education is actually become the main role in having qualified or even the high quality of education itself. And the thing is actually will be good point for us to be concerned as the main thing that can be practiced in Indonesia, like there should be some mechanisms or some solutions that we should find out in helping or solving the problem, especially how the education systems will be okay then accessed by not only with literacy but also numeracy, especially as the best practice has done in Surabaya. Like the access of education is just rapidly changing because of the need analysis of the society itself. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and also the participants who joined the webinar today, you can address also the questions, or if you have something to declare, you can write down the chat box. And also, you can click or you can raise your hands directly. But before we are moving on, excuse me, Miss Lori, before moving on to the Q&A section today, we would like to kindly invite our second speaker today. And before letting him to deliver his material, I'd like to give a brief identity or curriculum vitae of him. He is actually the head of our institution, and the complete name is Mr. Dr. Haji Ibnu Haldun Sudirman MSc. Let me tell you about the background education of him. He graduated from one of top university in Indonesia, and he completed his master degree on 2003 and 2005 graduated from Gajah Mada University. This is actually the second top of university in Indonesia, and he completed his doctoral degree in Indonesian University. This is actually the top university of Indonesia as well. Has been completing more achievements, but I would like to kindly mention only the top two. You know what? Our head, Mr. Ibn Khaldun, has visited Australia for the best practice of literacy, numeracy, and inclusivity of education. Because our institution, AIT Tamsis has collaborated or has a good partnership between Inovasi, Palladium, Australia. So our institution has some piloting schools to be practiced, especially for how to solve Indonesian, especially female regency, how is actually the literacy and numeracy can be solved, because that's actually the main issues. of our education in Bima sector especially. So he's going to talk more and elaborate the cases and also some best practices that has been done by him, not only by visiting some university in Australia, but also the best practice has been done by him around Bima, especially for piloting school in Bima. So we would like to kindly invite Mr. Dr. Ibnu Khaldun Sudirman MSc. Time is yours.
Gimana? Oh gitu. Iya. Oh, oke. Enggak, jangan di sini.
Thank you, Mr. Fadli.
Unmute pakai mic.
Now the chance to me to going to deliver our materials.
The first speaker on delivery of top issue and policy of literacy numeracy in Asia, and then more than variety about how to develop educational environments. Now, I'm as second speaker will be delivering about lesson learned about literacy, numeracy, and inclusivity in Bima, West Nusa Tenggara. The speaker have delivery about global materials, and then I am practices from SDKP dan Siswa Bima more than 10 years have one policy about the literacy at the science and 2015. About the literacy issue in Bima, the low literacy rate and reading interest in Bima hinder educational progress. Limited access to literacy resources also poses a significant challenge in developing a cultural community. The low literacy rate is a major barrier to educational development in Bima. The lack of reading interest further complicates efforts to improve literacy in the local community. While other regions have begun leveraging literacy as a skill relevant to modern life and technology, students in Bima are still focused on basic reading efforts, highlighting significant lags. Although there is an awareness of importance of literacy, the implementation of intervention to improve basic literacy in Bima remains suboptimal. Data collected by Tamsis indicates that basic literacy in Bima still requires greater attention and support to effective and address these issues. What has been and will be done by Tamsis to strengthen literacy? The first, strengthen literacy through the name at our college prepare and KKN. Practices students in learning, and then to develop our districts to transformation literacy for 2 months. 2 months. The second, strengthen literacy through the curriculum in elementary school teacher education. Then more than 1 year, since 2022, we have a module teaching at the right levels. And then strengthen literacy through internal research and faculty community service. More than lecture, our colleagues focusing literacy to research and develop community service. And then strengthening literacy through partnerships. All partnerships, stakeholders have to work together, synergy and collaborations to develop literacy in the past 5 years. The PPL and KKN programs have focused on literacy issues. Students have engaged in community service in schools and villages, teaching children who cannot yet read in various remote areas. Various creative and innovative ideas from students have emerged to enhance literacy in villages, such as the mobile teaching programs, reading cards, reading mix, and more. Each year, around 500 and 700 students participate in PPL and KKN activities with the specific goal of assisting children who face learning difficulties, particularly in reading and writing skills. Then, Science 2018, internal research and faculty community service have been focused on literacy and numeracy programs. From internal grants, various programs have emerged with the aim of strengthening literacy. Then 60% of students' research was directed towards the themes of literacy, numeracy, and differentiated learning. The campus provides funding to support faculty community service activities focused on literacy themes. And then there were 30 research publication titles involving faculty and students with a focus on research about teaching at the right level. Then our internal grants to students and lecture more than to strengthen about the local policy about literacy, numeracy, and inclusivity. And then one of our department, elementary schools teachers curriculum have the implementations, because that is the one of our department in West Nusa Tenggara and around Indonesia have review curriculum about especially about literacy. And then from literacy curriculum, many of our partnership want to learn, want to come and then learn about how to make and become literacy curriculums. And then many of our students become There
Dikirim
are
ke emailnya
13 students have become go to village to transformasi literasi as the name Kampus Mengajar. We are one of college in West Nusa Tenggara and in Bali. We have champions about the quantity, about the students join to Kampus Mengajar. And then the last about our policy, many of activity, many of issue, and then many of policy to strengthen our literacy numeracy. Something about we partnership with the broadcasting about literacy. We serial discussion about literacy, our achievement, our target, and our delivery about literacy numeracy. Maybe that's all about our materials. And the last maybe will be strengths about literacy, cooperation with all participants, our schools, and then our stakeholder to strengthen literacy in West Nusa Tenggara, generally or in Indonesia. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Well, thank you very much for the insightful perspective on how Bima, especially, Bima is actually a part of Indonesia. Bima is located in a small island, is actually a part of West Nusa Tenggara. Our second speaker already mentions how it's actually the applications on how the quality of education, especially concerned as the first concerns of STKIP Taman Siswa Bima. Since STKIP Taman Siswa Bima has lots of programs that deals with how the education, especially literacy and numeracy, be increased there. It's actually shown by various programs, and also as STKIP Taman Siswa Bima seriously concerning with some Ministry of Education's program. It's actually supposed to be the grant that can make STKIP Taman Siswa Bima be the one of institution, especially concerning with education itself. And the last one is they are not only joining or become collaborated with some other institutions or become the participants in some organizations, but also they adopt those kind of best practices to be their own policy. So the policy is actually there in STKIP Taman Siswa Bima, who can earn some decisions, which can make some programs, or it will break down some programs on how education, especially literacy and numeracy, be increased. And lastly, the curriculum is actually the essential points to be taught, especially in educational sector. So as the STKIP Taman Siswa Bima, which concern with education, they are trying to adopt some curriculum which is actually based on the need, or it's actually based on the need analysis on how education solves problem. As Ms. Solomon already mentioned before, that education, especially accessing education, become the prior concerning both in Thailand and Indonesia. Well, ladies and gentlemen, and also participants, as I already mentioned before, if you would like to address the questions, you can just click in the chat box, or you can just raise your hand if you would like to address the questions to both speakers today. And because the participants here is not only coming from the students at university, but also there are some English teachers or even the teachers around the location, especially in Bima, West Nusa Tenggara. So it's actually interesting topic to be taught when we're going to explore more about some systems or mechanisms to do to solve the problem, especially in literacy and numeracy, and also inclusivity of education in both countries, Indonesia and also Thailand. So we would like to start from the first questions. Okay, from Ms. Somirin. Yeah, it's actually the lack of good environment of education systems. So that's why it could be a problems that faced by both countries. So guys, if you would like to address any questions, you can just click in the chat box or you can just raise your hand. Anyone want to? Okay, maybe the technicals. Okay, if you want like, okay, please. Because we have here hybrid activity, so not only virtually, but also here we have about 100 of participants here. They are not coming only from teachers, lecturers, but also students. Would like to give the first chance to Mr. Sharif. Mr. Sharif? Okay, you can just start question. Please, Mr. Sharif.
Suruh masuk frame Beb. Suruh masuk frame Beb.
Alright. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon, everyone.
Enggak. Ada dia diminta portofolio atau apa?
Actually, my question is to Ms. Soye. Firstly, I would like to thank you for this amazing webinar. I'm very happy and very enthusiastic to join this webinar. My question is, as explained by Ms. Sowirin,
yes,
the context of Indonesia and also Thailand, actually we share the same problem in education and also in
exactly
aspect like climate change and also curriculum and so on. I got one the unique condition like there is a green curriculum in Thailand. You know, actually in our local district here in Bima, that we face the same problem about the what's it deforestation and also the flood. Yeah. And we so far I think we don't have like the green curriculum. My question is, would like to share a thought about the green curriculum. Maybe we can adopt it and we can implement it in our campus. That's the first question. And the second question, it is quite interesting about learning coding.
yes.
Yeah. We need maybe some explanation how to implement this concept. It is very interesting, I think. And the last one, what can we do? I mean, as an academician in both university in Tamsis, as a Taman Siswa Bima, and also in AIT Thailand, what can we do together to support the SDG 4 and also SDG 11, as you explained before? Yeah, maybe that's. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Sharifuddin. Actually, I would like to give another chance to another speaker, but seems like his questions more than one. So I would like to kindly invite Ms. Lauren to just respond to those three questions. I'm afraid that I forgot the whole or deep high questions. We please you, Miss.
Okay, thank you, colleagues. I can hear the question number 1 and 2, but I think the voice are breaking when you talk about number 3. So maybe I need you to repeat the question number 3. Maybe let me respond the number 1 and number 2 first, if that's okay. Yes. For the first questions, it's about greening curriculum. I think it's very timely that Indonesia or Thailand will think about incorporating the greening education into their national curriculum, both formal education or non-formal education. So I think it's very timely. And UNESCO has produced the guidelines on how to develop the greening education curriculum. And after this, I will give you the link to access the materials. I will just type in the chat box, and please feel free to check the materials on the cleaning education. And I hope that you can utilize the guidelines that we prepare to adapt in your own context. Unfortunately, we don't have the guidelines not available in Thai or in Bahasa Indonesia yet, but I hope you can check the English language materials that we have. That's for number one. And number two, you're asking me about the learning coin model. So this is the model that we have been piloting with several provinces in Thailand, because basically we know that these our school children and youth, they tend to drop out from formal schooling system, and they go to community learning centers or non-formal education to get the diploma for their work purpose, mainly because they just want to learn very quickly and then get the certificate so that they can go to work. So what we do is that we ask the Ministry of Education to identify the children who are extremely poor. So in the Thai case, we work with our partner, Equitable Education Fund, and also the Department of Learning Encouragement to identify these children. So we came up with around 500 students who live in poverty. So in the Thai case, the families, each of the families members, they only earn like around 3,000 baht per month. So that's about 100, like nearly $100 per month. And we consider them as extremely poor conditions. So after we get those list of students that we like to support, then we contacted them individually for them to volunteer to join this program. Because what we found in the past, if the students are forced to join the program, then it's not getting that, they will not get anything, and it's a loss of investment. So we want only those who met the criteria of the poverty criteria, and also they have to be willing to participate, because as I mentioned in my response, this is about creating the habits, reading and learning habits. So we need them to stay throughout the project for like around at least 6 months. So within this 6 months time, we provided them with the tablets with the internet SIM card. So they will have the device and they log into our application, which is called Learn Big. And on this application, they are like around 2,000 learning materials and books. So they will read based on their preference. They can choose the books that they like to read. And then in each book, we have the system that will request the students to answer some questions so that we can check that they really read the books. And teachers, so we have to ask the teachers who are the focal points for each student to review the answers that the students submitted through the tablets. So teachers can approve and review the answers. And all these reading behaviors will be calculated into scholarship in each month. Basically, there are 3 things that we look at. First, is the reading time. So we will, UNESCO will monitor through our system the reading time, how many minutes, how many hours they read in that month. And secondly, it's about consistency. So if they continue reading every day, then they will get high scores. They'll get high amount of money. And lastly, it's about the question that I mentioned. So teachers can grade. So with all 3 criteria combined, we calculate, the system calculate the scholarship, and we provided the scholarship to the students through a bank transfer, which they can earn up to around 10% of their family incomes, like around 100, like like around 40 or 50 US dollars per month to support their learning. Yes, so this is my response for the second question, and if you can kindly repeat the third one, that would be great.
Okay. That's fine, miss. Actually, the answer is actually accepted. It's actually included in your answer for the third question.
All right, all right.
So we would like to come up to the
Thank
second questions from the chat box. That is actually, there are some chats who say or give the high impressions and huge appreciations regarding to the topic for today, because the participants are also coming from teachers and educational practitioners. They are really appreciating on the topic for today. Well, the questions coming from the participant in the chat box also say that what are the challenges in implementing the literacy in your context, especially in Thailand? Of course, we would like to find some obstacles or some problems then implementing these kind of things. So what are the challenges faced by you, especially?
Yes, I also include my response in the chat, but just quickly, I think the number one challenge is about learning environment. So it is very important for us, whether we are government officials, whether we are the private sector, or we are NGOs or educational stakeholders, we need to build literate environments for our learners. And because it's about creating the habits. Because once you gain literacy, you can fall into the relapse of the literacy. If your skills haven't been brushed up, or if you are not in a literate environments, then you can go back to illiteracy, right? So it's very important. And as to my experiences with all these ICT related projects, I found that technologies or gamification or learning from the application or some easy platform for the learners to access, these are the factors that can help to maintain the motivation and the retention in the class. And secondly, because we know that the government invested a lot in formal education, but for non-formal education or flexible learning, maybe they are sidelined. And as we are talking about the world, like after COVID, we have the decline of the numbers of students in the universities globally. Like situations is quite severe. For example, like in Korea, right now many universities are closing down because they don't have enough students to enroll. This is because of the decline of the population, the aging society, the lower birth rate, which is happening now in Thailand. So we need to make sure that the system is not the obstacle, but it is for us to provide all the most flexible learning pathways for students. Maybe there will be no longer non-formal and formal education system, like one of you mentioned in the chat, which I believe it will be the future trends. So whatever modes that learners can learn, we need to promote, and it will be more flexible. But the next question is, how can we recognize those flexible learnings? So that's why right now we are working hard to provide more guidelines on the qualifications, how we talk about the micro credentials, digital credentials, or those kind of things. Yeah. So this is something that UNESCO, another team, is doing.
Thank you so much for I think it's actually wonderful insight. Thank you for the questions, Ms. Fitria Sarnita. Then we would like to move on into the comparison between the balancing of formal and non-formal education, where in Indonesia, there's actually how do I say? It's actually the dichotomy between formal and non-formal education. It's actually UNESCO, especially you, Ms. Nowirin, to see the balancing of non-formal and formal education there, so they can play as their role. So there's no dichotomy anymore. So,
Yes, that's what I think. So yeah.
Okay, is it possible for us to have a good collaboration on how the role of formal and non-formal education is being played? Or is there any insight of you? What is actually the best way to have a good harmony or the balance in between both formal and informal education system in your countries?
I think maybe I'll just speak quickly. From my end, I think that the global situation is the same for all countries. We invest more in formal education, but if you think about the life like after school, like we finish university like around the age of 23 or 22, right? But then after that we have to leave like until like I don't know now now maybe we can live up to 100 years because of our technologies. But then the government is not investing in these years, right? You understand what I mean, right? So we don't invest in lifelong learning. Like once everyone finished school, then the investment stops. Then we have to pay from our pocket, right? If we want to learn something, for example, like and these days we need to reskills or upskills up to the market trends, but then we have to pay from our pocket. So that's why I think it's very important for the government to allocate a good amount of the budget to provide for the lifelong learning or the future work purposes for the individuals. And these there are some examples from the learning cities, like the cities in Korea. They provide the budget for the citizens who living in poverty. They get like a cash card to go to enroll in some training courses or access some training programs. So I think this kind of approach, we need to invest more and more so that the citizens, especially those who are from marginalized groups, like those who are with disabilities, ethnic minorities, or the people, even people in migration context, like we have lots of immigrants, or even if they are affected by climate change, for example. So they should get all these kind of opportunities to be able to learn and develop the skills needed for the future job. Yeah.
Thank you. It's a kind of good insight to have a good harmony between, yeah, of course, it should go back to the government. As we are, yes, we are education practitioner, but we are not decision maker anyway. But then I would like to move on to the last questions. There's someone who raised his hand, Mr. Fazil Karim. Are you there?
No, I'm here. I'm raising my.
There you are, Mr. Please.
Yes, I just want to jump in here in order to share the experience of AIT, and also maybe also to address question number 3, how we can work together on this one. So I have actually in our mind, we have 3 things to propose and to share. Number 1 is now AIT research team is doing the projects for the children with intellectual disabilities, and we are doing this for SDG 4 and SDG 10, and we are working closely with the city of Bangkok, and we have about 30 schools from the city of Bangkok, trying to create the healthy communities and well-being and also social inclusion in these cities. So we are using a bit of semi-formal educations in order to make sure that the children with disabilities are in a good learning environments and interaction and relationships. And what we are trying to do is we are trying to create the dashboard of the reports of how the behavioral change of the students in this school, who are the city school, are going to give us the information, what will be the future policies of the semi-formal education for the children with special needs. So if we are doing so, we still have time to do that. So we will share the information with UNESCO, with Dr. Sovirin, and also with colleagues here, so that you can see how we can get together in order to be part of the increasing the achievement of the SDG 4 and SDG 10 internationally between Indonesia, Thailand, and UNESCO. The second that I would like to propose, and as you might know that AIT now working with UNITA, and we are proposing that the faculty members and also the teacher and lecturer of the universities may be interested in the curriculum on climate negotiation and climate diplomacies. Now, AIT extensions already have the curriculum on Model United Nations, and we can really apply these Model United Nations for climate negotiations and also climate diplomacies. So these climate diplomacies, climate negotiation program can be for the people who are in the civil society organization, who may be out of the school system, who can be also the youth in the societies, in the community, who can also jointly participate in this program for climate negotiation and climate diplomacies. So if we want to do so, we would like to propose to your universities, to have a joint program or to have a program that we can train your teacher, you can train your faculty members to do this in order to train the local people, civil society organization and youth in the climate diplomacies and climate negotiation. And AIT have that curriculum as a training program where we can enhance the greening education, and this is maybe in the area where UNESCO is interested. Last but not the least is about the innovation boot camps. Something that we have heard from the UNESCO about the education course and learning course. We can even produce more of the solution like this by having, the people in our communities and our cities to participate in the innovation camps. And we can also involve the private sectors and government agencies to participate in education camp. And AIT is proposing ourselves to run the education camp or innovation camps in your cities, in your universities, so that we can, bring in the young generation and young startups to do the solutions, applications, just like the learning course. And these education application and solutions can be used to enhance the informal education, can be used to enhance the numeracy and literacies. And down the line, we are helping the local communities as the startup to get jobs. We are also making a preparation of the youth generation and unemployment society to be able to get jobs. So this is something that we can work further, and Mr. Shaheen is here to really discuss with you, because this is something down the line that we can work together. And AIT is happy to help, to facilitate, and also support as much as we can. And also, we can also work this with UNICEF and UNESCO in order to get their support as well. So if it is something that, something that very interesting to you, later on, we can have a meeting, we can have a workshop, online workshop, and think about what will be the future revitalization of the literacy and numeracy curriculum, where we can involve startup, where we can involve the civil society organization, where we can involve the employment society, where they can get jobs in the future. And actually, what I have heard today in America, in the US and in Europe, degree is not the only way to get jobs. Degree is not the only way to get jobs, but the course where you train on that skill in order to work in the employments and industries is a guarantee that you will get jobs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fazil. Wow. As I mentioned before, I think this will be nice concerning with some other collaborations with especially the government outreaches. So lately we have a kind of workshop or a kind of innovations activities that as a collaborations between education, ministry, especially in our sectors, and also as an economic development. It sounds good that when you're going to promote a kind of thing that we can do further, to have a kind of activity that will increase or deal with the increase of literacy and numeracy, and also inclusivity of education, especially in Bima and in Indonesia. Wow, that was very fruitful discussions for us today. There are some comments also in the chat box. They say that thank you for great and interesting seminar. Hope we can see or we can join the next seminar. So hopefully there will be further activities. We're looking forward to have the next collaboration, not only between AIT and SKIP Taman Siswabima, but also we're going to have a kind of workshop with AIT, SKIP Taman Siswabima, and also UNESCO itself. So hopefully we're going to have great ideas then, brilliant ideas to be earned as the result of the discussion today. Well, we come to the last sessions of our discussion today, but before we close the discussion, we would like to kindly have a kind of certificate of appreciation to the speakers today. And we would like to give a huge appreciation to Ms. Narumon. Thank you very much for your insight, presentation, and also sharing for today. On behalf of SKIP, I would like to give a huge appreciation for that. Thank you for sharing. Hopefully, we're going to have the next agenda where we can discuss live about increasing education in both countries, especially Indonesia and Thailand. So, is there any closing statement before closing this, Ms. Narumo or Mr. Fazil? Is there any closing statement before I hand over back this to Master of Ceremony? Or do you have any closing statement for the entire participants, Ms. Narumo? Sorry, Ms. Lowry, sorry. Is there any closing statements that you're going to?
I think I'm really glad to be part of this discussion, and I'm really glad to know that AIT together with the networks have been really serious in moving forward with the SDGs agenda. This is really appreciated from the UN, especially UNESCO perspective. So I hope that we can continue to collaborate, and if there's any further dialogues or discussions, I think our office will be happy to be engaged. So I think today is just the kickstart of all the future or the upcoming activities for our collaboration. So thank you so much for all the participants and organizers.
Thank you so much. Okay, that was the end of our discussion and also webinar for today. Before I close this, I would like to give a huge appreciation to the all participants, not only coming from the students of SKIP Taman Siswabima, and also some teachers and also English practitioners, especially from Thailand and also Indonesia. Thank you very much for joining our international webinar today. So I would like to close it and hand over to the Master of Ceremony. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much to Mr. Ramli SPD MPD for leading our discussions or our seminar today with Ms. Sawirin and also Mr. Dr. Haji Ibnu Khaldun Sudirman. All right. Once more, I would like to say my deepest gratitude. Thank you very much to Ms. Sawirin and also Dr. Haji Ibnu Khaldun Sudirman, and also Mr. Farafage, because we also got comprehensive feedbacks and suggestions about the future collaborations. We're looking forward to have like many series on this webinar, especially in the context of the implementation, in the context of technology that you mentioned, and also SDGs number 4 and number 10. Hopefully in the future, not only online sessions, but also offline, we can see each other, maybe in Bima, in West Nusa Tenggara, because in fact, West Nusa Tenggara is ranked as the top 3 of the highest illiterate society in Indonesia. So our province, sadly, we rank top 3 as the illiterate societies in Indonesia. So we really hope for further collaboration so we can solve this issue together. That is the reasons why we are very excited to have you here today having discussions on this topic. Thank you very much. So ladies and gentlemen,
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for this invitation. We are really like to go to PIMA there, and let's start the boot camps on innovation for innovative, greening education. We have to start doing that because 6 years down the line for SDGs 2030 is not long from now, so we have to make it happen.
Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. And also, in fact, Mr. Forafage, we also got the grants and assistance from the Australian government to solve this issue for 2 years. But we're still working on it. So hopefully it's going to come through, the collaborations between us and also UNESCO. Thank you very much once more. And also, ladies and gentlemen, before I close this session, let's have a quick photo sessions. With our invited speakers, moderator, and also guests in these Zoom sessions and also webinar sessions. Please make sure to turn on your camera. And also for our students, maybe you can make your way to sit around here so your face can be clearly seen on the camera. And we will take a quick screenshot. Maybe you can stand up, that's okay. Some of you can stand up. Just make sure to see your face, yeah. Can you see that or not? And then we can take a screenshot. Okay, to dear online participants, please open your camera so we can have a quick documentations together as a token of our first international webinar and collaborations with Thailand. Okay, ready? Operator?
Yeah.
1, 2, and once more, we actually have hand sign of our institution. It's L, which means literacy. Because we're concentrating on literacy, so please mention L. Yeah, cool. L, everybody. 1, 2, and cheese. All right, thank you very much once again. Please give a round of applause for everyone here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of our international webinar with Asian Institute of Technology Extension. Thank you very much for your kind appreciations and attentions. It's actually almost 4 here. We are apart for like 1 hour difference between Thailand and PIMA especially, but we are still excited and hopefully there will be many series of international webinar in the future. I'm Ika Suciwati. As the master of ceremony today, we'll close our international webinar by reciting Basmalah together. Hamdalah together. Thank you once more. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Terima kasih.